What's up to my YouTube fans? My name is Anthony Parker. In case you don't know, and if you do know, now you know. We're going to take a trip to the great state of Arizona, Phoenix that is, and talk to a gentleman by the name of Steve. But before I do that, I want to say continue to subscribe to the Parker Daniels Show. Hit that like button, thumbs up. Also, there's a notification bell. Once you subscribe, you'll be able to get updates, and we want you to be in the know so you can go back and talk about it at the water cooler and things of that nature. But we're going to jump into the interview and bring on Steve. He has an interesting story. But before I also preface that, I would like to say that in a lot of cases, man, you can't judge a book by its cover. You never know until you actually delve into a person's life and you learn more about it, you know more about it, then that way you'll be able to get a better understanding. And that's what Steve is going to do for us today. He's going to clear up a lot of situations because people in most cases can be so inconsiderate, considering the fact that he's going through a certain deal of situations. So Steve, are you there?
I'm here, brother.
Okay. Why don't you first of all tell them why or what brought you to the Parker Daniels Show, then go on with with your story and give us a little tidbits. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was brought to the Parker Daniels Show because I saw I'm part of some Facebook groups in the blind community, and I found Anthony and his YouTube channel, which is the Parker Daniels Show, and that's how I became a fan.
Okay. Give them a little brief history about your eye condition. How much can you see, how much you can't see, and what caused it, if you don't mind telling us.
I have bilateral retinal detachment in both eyes, so I can't see anything except for a little bit of light perception. Basically, it just means that my retina is separated shortly after birth. I was probably a few days old when it happened.
Okay, so basically you've been blind since birth?
I'm sorry?
You've been blind since birth, you said?
Pretty much, yes, okay. Pretty much.
And how has that been for you? I mean, living a life as a totally blind or a person who's, let's say, visually impaired because you had some light perception.
Yeah.
How was it?
Well, I think that the blindness part is okay because, it's all I've ever known. But I think that there are certain challenges with interacting with sighted people who don't understand how blind people need to have things.
And what were some of those challenges that you faced?
Well, my greatest struggle that I face is with sighted people when they come into my house, which is my personal space, and move around things. You know?
I hate that too. I have to talk to my girlfriend about that, man.
And even, and what you don't get is even with like small things, it's like even a small piece of paper moved around could change the whole layout of the room to us,
Definitely. So go ahead.
And also like with my personal setup, my philosophy, and I don't know how many of the listeners will agree on this, but my thing is if something is in the middle of the floor, that's how I find it, Yep. So if someone says, hey, let's clean up, it's like, well, no, because if you move this out of my way, then I won't ever know where it is,
Exactly. I definitely had to talk to a lot of people who came into my house and get them straight about that. As far as receiving any type of support from your family members, were you able to receive support while going through your blindness?
Well, I do have a couple of family members that did support me, but most of them actually disowned me for other reasons. And I've always had a rocky relationship with my biological family. But I do have a mother figure in my life who I'm very close to, who does help me, And go ahead.
As we segue into a subject that we're going to briefly skate over because that's not the nature, but I want to focus on it because, as I mentioned in the dialogue, people are so insensitive and they really don't know until you actually talk to them. You're dealing with another situation. Do you want to let the people know basically what it is?
Well, I'm dealing with a couple of different challenges. To be honest, I'm quite a mess. But my philosophy is to try to, take life as it goes. To try to be stronger with those challenges. Are you referring to the soul challenge or the gender one?
That one. Gender.
Oh, okay. So, for the listeners who might have noticed that my voice is a little bit high, I'm actually born female, and I identify as male, but I actually can sound like a female if I wanted to, which I don't. But
that was funny. But with that in mind, how has it been from other people's standpoint in terms of treating you, because the fact that you're totally blind and the fact that you have that,
Yeah, well, I think this is definitely a level of self-consciousness with do I look like I could pass for how I want to be presented? And I'll have people misgender me, and I'll think, I wonder if I'm not, standing the way I should, or things like that. But
that's interesting, because, and like I said, I didn't want to really focus too much on it, but I'm gonna touch on this. That's interesting because as a blind person, you really don't know the mannerisms too much and what have you. So you never have talked to anyone who could see and say, well, am I doing this right, or am I standing like such and such? Have you ever done that?
Well, I do sometimes. But actually, what I've learned, and I was in gender therapy for a while, which is basically where they teach you, things about different genders and different identifications and things like that. But in my gender therapy, we basically learn to just be natural, and be ourselves.
So, what else are you doing in your life in terms of moving on to positive things and finding some self-gratification in terms of you doing the best that you can as a blind person? Are you in school? Are you working?
I am in school right now. I'm trying to get my GED. Actually, at this point, I'm working on that. I'm not currently working because I'm kind of busy with school and other things in my life, but mostly school.
So what is it that you want to do once you finish school? Is there any particular trade that you want to take up?
Well, I'm not sure exactly, but I know that I'm a writer, so I know that I'd probably want to major in some college courses journalism or maybe creative writing. I don't have it all completely figured out yet.
You got time. Take one day at a time. And as we speak on the writing aspect, you do have a vlog.
Yes, I do, actually. And that's another positive change that's been happening in my life, is this new blog that I started about a month and a half ago.
All right. Tell the people about it slowly so they'll know what it is, and just briefly tell them what it's about. Because I'm going to get the link and put it in the description. So just tell them what it's about.
So it's a very spiritual thing that happened to me recently. And basically the blog is about a concept called being a walk-in soul, and basically that's what I discovered myself to be. And basically what that means is, I think I touched briefly on my illness and some challenges that I face in my life. I won't go into huge detail on that, but basically with a walk-in concept, it's like a replacement soul when the original one was too weak to survive in the body. And basically it means that, and this also could be part of the reason why I identify the way that I do in terms of my gender, because I actually had another life before I stepped into this one. And that person was male. And so basically my blog that I created, it's where I write down some very personal thoughts and feelings. So
okay, that probably can help out others in terms of what they're going through. But I want to ask you, when you tell people about this, because you just had given me the scenario, do people shun you away, or be like, or do they just listen, or they just like, man, I don't want to hear what you're talking about because that doesn't make sense? What kind of response do you get?
I think, and this is what I have to say, I think that a lot of people just don't understand, and when you don't understand something, you know, you either dismiss it
Right.
or you're afraid of it. You know, you're afraid of what it could mean. You know, it really just, I don't know. I've gotten different responses from different people.
Is it more positive than
Sorry.
negative?
Both positive and negative, but the most important thing for me, though, is to be able to outlet those feelings, because it's a huge discovery to discover that you're not who you thought you were for your whole life.
I bet that is.
You know,
Steve, that's very deep. I'm gonna check that out, and I'm like I said, I'm putting it in the description, because I really, and then I'm not just saying it because you're talking about. I really want to know, what it entails and whatnot, but. That's a form of therapy for you, not just in the gender identification deal, but just visually impaired and dealing with other issues at hand. Because when you write down things and talk about, or put them in, you know, to detail and chronological order, that helps you as far as you dealing with situations. Am I right to safe to say that?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
And that's going to take, you know. That's going to take you a lot of places and whatnot. I'm looking forward to you actually developing that and becoming an author sometime in the future.
But anyway, just one more brief thing, as I was saying a little bit earlier, was a positive change in my life. You know, discovering myself as a walk-in soul actually gave my whole life more meaning. And so that was a positive thing, and that encouraged me to start blogging and doing everything that I'm doing now, basically.
Well, okay, that's great. Well, give the people the name of the blog so they can.
Well, the blog is called Oshkek's Corner, and I'll send Anthony. I'll send you a link to it.
Tell them again.
You know, it's Oshkek's Corner, OSHKEKS Corner.
Okay, and y'all can check that out, man. Y'all be able to find out some interesting things. I think I may have scanned over it a couple of times, but I didn't go into detail. Go ahead.
For everybody, I'm sorry. I keep cutting you off. I'm so sorry.
This is your show. It's not mine. Go ahead.
I just want to say, for everybody listening too, you know, feel free to check it out, but also try to keep an open mind and understand that I'm different than a lot of people.
I think a lot of my subscribers are open-minded and whatnot, and they're going to take that into consideration. So as we conclude, give the people some positive things, some positive vibes to, you know, to lead by, and to, you know, to lead, so that you can basically feel good that, hey, I've come on this show and I was able to express this, that, and those, and hopefully it can reach other people.
Well, I'm so glad that I had this chance, this opportunity to that Anthony reached out to me, and that I was able to come on the Parker Daniels show to discuss my things that I face in my life. And I love the show because of all the good discussions that are on the show.
Thank you so much. And with that being said, I want my subscribers to continue to subscribe. I want to say a big shout out to my co-host Kim Daniels. I want to give a shout out to all my supporters, followers, and people like Steve and everyone else who are interested in coming on the show and is making a difference and what have you. So continue to follow, hit the thumbs up, hit the notification bell, and I want to give a shout out to someone too, if I may.
Yeah, I know she'll be listening. Rhonda Crawford, my adopted mother. I want to give a shout out to her.
Okay, say her name once again.
Rhonda Crawford. She knows who she is. She's like an awesome mother, and I want to tell her how much I love her and give her a shout out for all her support.
So you heard that, Rhonda Crawford from Steve. Definitely. So with that being said, I want to say thanks to my son. He's been in the background being very quiet. I have to go and get him an ice cream. I love him. I love you all. And thanks again, Steve. We're going to get back at you soon.
Awesome, bro. Thank you.
Okay.